Direct online starter main failures. Before starting the troubleshooting of the direct online motor starter, you should be able to know the main parts of the direct online motor starter. The main power supplier, the three-phase matching the motor power. The fuses, which are an additional protection. The main breaker. The contactor. The thermal overload. The motor. And the control circuit for the starter. Failures of motor run. The troubleshooting will depend on the status of the contactor, whether if the contactor is contacting or not. Contactor is not contacting. If the contactor is not contacting, then the manual operator for the contactor will be off, while it will be withdrawn deeply if the contactor is on. In this case, it will be safely if the main breaker will be switched off, then the control circuit will be tested by the continuity test. If the overload was interrupting the control circuit, then the overload set point of current should be checked if it matching the motor. If there is no problem with the control circuit, then the main breaker will be switched on, and the push button will be pushed to be on, then the voltage over the coil A1 and A2 will be measured by the voltmeter. If the voltage is below the required, then the power circuit should be tested the voltmeter to identify the problem. If the voltage is matching the required, but the contactor is not contacting, then the contactor should be replaced. Second case, if the contactor is contacting but the motor is still not running. In this case, the voltage over L1, L2 and L3 should be matching the three-phase voltage. The voltage over T1, T2 and T3 will be measured. If it is not matching the proper voltage, then the contactor should be replaced. If the voltage in T1, T2 and T3 is matching the three-phase voltage, then the overload terminals T1, T2 and T3 will be tested by the voltmeter. If the voltage is not matching the three-phase voltage, then the overload should be replaced, otherwise the problem will be in the cable, terminals, or the motor itself. It will be more efficient if the motor terminals will be dismantled, and the voltage is measured from motor starter output cable. If the cable terminal's voltage is matching the supply voltage, then the motor will be defected.